She is using my book as a headboard thing, a pillow. That's the word I'm looking for. Wow, Finn. Hello friends, it is Danny. Welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be reviewing The Dangerous Art of Blending In by Angelo Surmelis. I was given a copy of this book for free in exchange for an honest review from the publisher, which is Belzar & Bray, which, if you don't know, is an imprint of HarperCollins. The Dangerous Art of Blending In is about a 17-year-old boy named Evan Panos. He is Greek and his mom is a strict Greek immigrant, and his mom doesn't see him as anything other than a disappointment to their family, and his dad does not defend him or do anything. He may also be very, very attracted to his best friend Henry. So while dealing with all of this with his mom and people at school and all the conflicts, the only way he finds escape is through drawing and sketching and making art. And he does all of this in an abandoned monastery of all places. When Henry decides that he wants to be more than friends with Evan, he has no idea what he's supposed to do with that information. And it is Henry who makes him realize that he is worth more than what he's been put through by his mother in terms of abuse and really nasty comments about him. It is his relationship with Henry that sets his mom off on a rampage, and now he has to decide whether he wants to speak out about the abuse that his mother puts him through or if he's going to stay silent. I don't know what I was expecting from this. It wasn't anything like I thought it would be. Maybe that's because I didn't read the synopsis as well as I thought I had. I thought it was, yes, going to be LGBT. I thought, yes, it was going to feature some heavy themes, but I didn't expect it to be as heavy as it was. While it does feature themes of abuse and LGBT and what I did expect of it, it was so much more than that, and I don't necessarily believe that in a good way. I think this might be more of a negative review for this book. But it's difficult to give it a negative review because it is said on the back that it is a raw, powerful debut novel based on the author's own childhood. I get that it's a debut novel. I get that it's about his childhood or based off of his childhood, and maybe things were different for him than it was for Evan. Maybe it was the themes of the book, maybe it was just the writing style. I don't really know what made me not like it that much, but I'm gonna try and explain it as best as I can. Evan as a main character, I found him very, very flat. He was just surface level character. He didn't really have any depth to him. He was just kind of there. I know that his only escape was doing art. I know that he is petrified of his mother with good reason. But other than that, he didn't really have anything about him that I could connect to, relate to, understand him more. And I was actually talking to Patty from Patty Cakes on Twitter. She is one of my Harper friends that I see every time I go to a Harper event, and even she was saying that she was finding it really hard to get through this book because she found him very boring, and I found him very boring too, but I managed to push through and finish this so I could talk about this book. I found that this book as well was kind of boring. It wasn't bad in the sense that it was boring, I didn't fall asleep reading it or anything, but there was literally ups and downs for nothing. You constantly felt like something was gonna happen, but then nothing ever happened. It was just alright, here's an up, oh, okay, plateau. When events would happen, you would expect something big to happen, and nothing really did. So it was kind of all this hype for nothing. And then when something did happen, it was oh, okay, yeah, well, I expected that to happen, but wasn't anything surprising. Literally everybody in this book, I swear, knew about the abuse in some form, some way. Doctors, principals, friends, whatever. They all knew in some way that this was happening to Evan, but nobody did a thing. Nobody moved, nobody said anything, nobody called him out, nobody called her out. Pastor at his church that his mother attends did not do anything. And that bothered me because I know if it was me or anybody else, we would have said something. Somebody would have done something, said something to bring it to light and have somebody help Evan. It was literally an entire book of Evan being afraid of his mom because every time he was around her, she would call him names, call him disgusting, a disappointment, everything. He would literally beat him. I think my biggest problem character-wise, of the people who didn't say anything, the one person who never really did anything to stop it and was very well aware that it was happening was his father. Also, there was a bit of confusion with one of the characters in this book named Jeremy. He's supposed to be Evan's friend, but then like he's not. It threw me for a loop. I didn't know how to feel about that. So everything about this book just put me in a really bad mood, bad place. And I was angry. I was angry about everything in this book. I understand that they want to make light of a situation by giving a romance to the main character to make him feel better, or to, you know, to make him happy sort of thing. That's the one thing that'll make him happy, I guess. But it almost didn't feel right for him to be having that relationship with somebody while he was going through all of this. There wasn't really any character arc, and the only arc he did have as a character for Evan was the relationship with Henry, and it didn't sit well with me or other people as I'm reading on Goodreads. In an abusive setting, you want to have a support system, and the only support system he had was Henry, right? I get that. I don't think it was okay for him to jump into such a big relationship with Henry when he was dealing with everything else, like I said, because if something goes south with Henry, then it's just gonna make everything else worse, and it could turn the situation even worse between the two of them. I just don't think it was healthy to have that relationship. And like I said, it's really difficult to say like that I didn't like this book and it was for these reasons, because I know that it's kind of like a fictional story based off of a memoir of the author, and I don't want to discredit the author because maybe this is what he went through completely exactly word for word, and they just say that it's fictional. It just makes things difficult to give a critical review because I know where I would stand if I were in that situation, but like I know that I can't speak for others, and that's what's making it really hard for me to kind of express how I'm feeling, because I could be discrediting him, or like, you know, it's just difficult. But overall, as a story, I just really didn't connect well with any of the characters, nor did I like the story that much, for valid reasons. Just didn't feel comfortable with how the story progressed and went and ended, and so I'm not going to give a good review to a book that I did not feel comfortable with. This book is out January 30th. Thank you to Harper for giving me this copy of this book to read. I feel bad that I didn't like it, but at least I'm able to give my thoughts on the book. Really like the cover. Is that something I can comment on? Because like I really love the cover, the sprinkles, and then the paint that blends. That's it for this review, you guys. I don't know what my next video is going to be, but whatever it is, I'll see you guys in that one. Bye!